Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a general reading for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whatever area of chart you're looking at. There is, as ever, a link in the description down below to get yourself your own birth chart if you know your time of birth. Now, as a general reading rules apply. So, roles can get reversed if someone else appears in this reading, and it's quite possible that somebody else is appearing in this reading, Scorpio, for good or for ill. And timing is far from absolute. Now, we're doing these readings under the shadow of the recent lunar eclipse. There are also links down below for the lunar eclipse readings. Go watch your sun, moon and rising signs, obviously. And a show I did with astrologer David Fischer about the astrology of the lunar eclipse. Plus I did a collective reading for the lunar eclipse that turned out to be really quite interesting, and that was also looking more at the I think that was where I was looking at the various angels and demons that are associated with the astrological positions of the planets. Now, as I say, it's a general reading. It's not going to be for all Scorpios. There's a past and a present in this reading, and if the past and the present do not fit your situation, go and watch your rising sign, go and watch your moon sign, because it either is for you or it isn't, and you will know. However, what I would like you to do prior to me starting the reading is ask a question. I mean, I'm not going to know it, obviously, but then even if I have a client in front of me, I ask them to come to me with a question, but do not tell me what the question is. At least not until I've gone through the cards once, you know, so it doesn't skew my interpretations. So take a moment, think about all of the questions that are around you. Focus on one of them. The focus gives energy to the process, but be aware of all of them, because the cards will answer whatever they please to, and not necessarily what you and I think are the highest priority questions. They work in, what was the phrase, mysterious ways. I've got Peter Andre going through my head now. So the only other bit of housekeeping I've got to say is, while you're thinking about your question, is there is a link in the description down below for the Facebook page for this channel. I post these videos, obviously, because let's face it, YouTube notifications have been a bit weird recently this year. And also I post all the astrology videos that I watch, you know, the weather forecast type ones. So I try to make it a bit of a one-stop shop, so come and join the fun. Right, let me switch over now to the cards. And you've got some really interesting cards here in many different ways. It's going to be quite a complicated message, I think, this one. But what I want to draw your attention to first, so the headline grabbers, we have the sacred union, partnership and romance. So Scorpio, you're making me do a love reading. Cheers. But, you know, it might not be romance and relationship with a capital R. It may well be some form of coming together, some form of union. However, that's my own personal bias coming in, because what we also have is the Angel of Feminine Love, which is very much a card about, among other things, it represents a Pisces. It represents an unrequited love as well. And then we have, from the wisdom of the House of Night, lust. So I'll move that so that the light's not reflecting off of it. So there's a bit of a theme coming through here. Cheers, Scorpio. But the other oracle cards are telling a slightly different story. So I'm wondering if this note of unrequited love from the Angel of Feminine Love is the driving force here. Because we also have Sekhmet and Persephone. Now, Sekhmet from the... Oh, golden. There's me throwing the cards everywhere. Sekhmet says, stop being a rebel for the sake of it. Persephone says, stop being a victim. So again, there's that sense of unrequited love. You know, because basically you're a victim of it not being requited. And then there's Jeanne the Maid from the Mausolea Oracle deck. Now, she's, again, in the afterlife, you know, so they all are in the Mausolea, but she concentrates on shepherding and helping those that she can find and that she can, rather than getting involved in the bigger picture of things. She has a little bit of humility. So on all those levels, I think the cards are saying focus closer to home, whatever that may mean. We also have Calling the Storm, which I think is going to come apparent as I go through the tarot cards. The Angel of Being is the angelic energy covering the whole of the reading, with the motif here: my soul rests in the truth that my being is eternal. So I'm immediately, whenever I see that card, the first thing I want to tell you is always, this too shall pass. Whatever it is, happiness, joy, misery, famine, whatever, this too shall pass. And then Hod, the left leg of the Tree of Life, being representing here a form of submission, but not just any old submission. It's more submission to the divine will, submission to the flow of events. Because I want to jump first into the distant past, where you have learnt some lesson that you are using for good or for ill at the moment. And we start with the Devil and the Eight of Airships, which is the Eight of Swords. So two really positive cards. So let's have a look. Seven of Coins. So you've succumbed to some form of temptation before, and it went okay. You know, it's six of Suns here is the Six of Wands. So you felt good about doing it. I think it maybe caused you to neglect something, however. Yes, it caused you to neglect something so that some form of harvest, some form of return that you was expecting to come through didn't come through. This caused stress, this caused anxiety, and it caused a rather less than wanted new beginning in your life. We have the Fool and the Tower here paired together. So it's almost, the only other way I can see about it is that, yeah, you've went for some temptation, and it seemed to go well to start off with, but you also realised that you was trapped. You panicked and you moved to get out. But when you moved to get out, there was also a lot of crumbling down. Now, I think those are two slightly different stories. It's not often I get two stories in the same reading, but it does happen. So it is a general reading. So it could be that you fell for temptation and it caused you to neglect something, which brought the walls crumbling down around your ears and you had to move on. Or because of that temptation, you became trapped, or you felt trapped, panicked, went to move out, and again, that brought the walls crumbling down. Because at the moment, I feel like you are... now that's interesting. So Four of Vengeance represents Four of Wands. So you are committing to something, but there's a lot of show about this particular Four of Vengeance card. It's a parade of an opening up of some train or another, I think. There is some form of commitment there going, yeah, I've said I will do this, so I need to be seen to do it. But there's an element of feeling like someone else is measuring your value. Someone else is interfering. And if this is a relationship reading, this is not the person you're aiming for the relationship with. It's somebody else. Three of Cups. So a third party. But I don't mean a third party that's involved romantically. That's not the sense that I'm getting. It's a third party that's going, yeah, really? Have you thought about this? Are you sure about this? Either to you or another person. And sort of stirring the pot, because there is a sense of, we've got the Two of Moons here, which basically is the Two of Cups. So there's a sense of, I'm feeling like this union is coming around, sacred union. I am committed to it, but there is one other influence that is stirring the pot, and you're half tempted to listen to them. Because where I feel, it was interesting when I was shuffling the cards, we've got the Seven of Leviathans, which is Seven of Pentacles, as the top card, as what's obvious about the situation. Now, that's obviously talking about a harvest that you have either tended or that you have untended. But even though that this is a man signalling this gigantic tank type thing to come into the hangar, the first feeling I got from that was, oh my God, what have I created? What have I unleashed? What have I started? Because it's almost like you're alone, you're feeling alone in this situation, even though you're not. You are not alone in this situation. This Four of Leviathans, Four of Cups, it's a crowd of people stranded on a beach signalling a passing cruise ship. But I also feel that sense of isolation. Now, how do I phrase this? It's a sense of isolation, but it is not you isolated. It is you and some others together isolated. So you're isolated with each other. So you are not personally isolated. You are isolated as a group. Which, Four of Wands again, Four of Staves. It's almost like you are being forced together to find the way to create a productive harvest by finding out how you can balance with one another. Because we have the Four of Swords. This is supposed to be a healing time for you, but I'm feeling like you're, at the same time, as much as you've got all the lovey-doveyness in how you feel, there is some situation that you are actually trying to reject. You're actually trying to say, no, I'm not doing it. Now that echoes, because Eight of Cups there, that echoes that one of the stories that we got from that distant but relative past. Let's see what's led up to this. So we start with the Hermit, the inventor, with the Astrologer of Globes, 12 of Globes, so 12, that would be the Knight, and the Lover's card. There was a choice that you made to work on something specifically to create your own personal rebirth, but you were being very, very aware of how much you were allowing the outside world to shape that rebirth. I'm not saying that that's positive or negative, but I am saying it does seem a little bit reactive. You were like, well, I think I should. The planets say. Now, you know, I love my astrology. So that is, I'm talking about, well, to continue the metaphor, living your life by horoscope rather than living your life by living your life, using your wits, using your eyes, using your heart, because the daily horoscopes are not, well, depending what paper you're reading them in to start off with, but they're not the be all and end all. You know, there's a daily horoscope is for a sun sign, just as this reading is for some Scorpios. It is not for Fred Blogs at number 33. It is for Scorpios in general. So therefore, it takes out an awareness of your own chart, your own personal circumstances, your own awareness, your own divine inspiration, your own will, your own perceptions. And here it's like, yes, I'm going to create a whole new life, but this is something that you make a choice to dive into. But there's the presence of a lot of coulds, should haves, there's which is another thing that Persephone talks about. Stop looking to the past, enjoy the now, stop lusting after stop lusting after something that has been and gone. How this fits in with all the lovey-dovey stuff, and also how does it fit in with this calling the storm. This is a card that, although with Sekhmet, is it that you are you're in a situation that you don't quite know how to get out of, and the only way that you can see about shaking things up is creating a fuss. And I would say that maybe the creating the fuss isn't necessarily the best idea. Yeah, call the storm within yourself to get yourself moving to where you ever want to be. But as I say, this group that you're isolated with, this is supposed to be a healing experience for you, whatever that means. So I think that's putting to rest the demons from whichever storyline was yours from these distant past cards. It's an either or. It is saying, right, you've learned something that's not serving you there. Time to learn something new. So we've got the Captain of Airships, King of Swords. The Four of Moons, so that's the Four of Cups, and the Death card. So there's been a recent change where guidance has been thrown at you, even though you was a bit bored of the situation that you was going in. I think that you was wanting to cut something out. So this, oh my God, what have I created, might not actually be a valid feeling. It may be more of a sense of panic because these old lessons have reared their head. And like I say, I'm not saying that they were good lessons, just that they were things that you have learnt. And they have reared their head and made you go, oh, I don't want to be here. What's going on? What have I done? And there's a point where I don't think it's as bad as all that. But I want you to stop. It sounds awful, but stop looking at the bigger picture. Start looking at the day-to-day details. Live in the now. Because I think there is part of you that likes these commitments that you have made, even though I would question why you made some of them. It's that could, should have thing gone along, coming up again. It's like, I'm happy that I have made this commitment because it appears correct to others. It looks right, therefore I'm happy. And it's like, but at the same time, this commitment appears to be opening up some doorways for you that's making you quite uncomfortable and bringing all of that. What have I done? Why am I doing it? Why am I here? This whole thing is supposed to be a healing experience for you, and it looks like it gets better because we end. Oh yeah, it does. We enter into a time. Six of Engines, Six of Wands, victory. Ace of Globes, so Ace of Pentacles, new beginning. This is setting up a new beginning for you. But yes, there is a burden that you need to take on board, which is really going to allow you to... Ooh, now this is interesting. Two of submersibles, two of cups. So you're exploring deep emotions here with this two of cups with somebody else. And it is shattering the burning tower. It is shattering some illusions that you have been having. And 5 of coins. Now I'm feeling this 5 of coins joy. I'm not feeling that sense of poverty, although maybe there's a poverty of bad ideas, a poverty of ill-learned lessons because they are being burnt away, and we're concentrating on that number 5 for growth, for challenge. Yeah, because with 2 of cups again, there's definitely a theme here, Scorpio. You can it's a love reading. Leave your money on the nightstand. That would have sounded so much better if my mouth had kept working there. But there's it's opening up new levels, new scope for the dreams that you can have. Not that you do have, because the dreams that you do have been coloured by these limitations and these anxieties. But there's a chance of opening up. So yes, what Jeanne the Maid is saying is definitely narrow your focus. Look at the day-to-day stuff. Look at the stuff that is within your power. And then the world will expand again with an immense amount of clarity, which looks like good stuff. Wheel of Fortune clarified by 10 of Globes, 10 of Pentacles. So comfortable, stable, happy, happy, joy, joy. You know, not just happy, happy, joy, joy and then passing, but something that has that sense of community, that sense of stability. So you might not like where you are right. So now I see. You might not like where you are right now, but stick with it, because there are interesting lessons coming up here, and also lessons of how you get to express yourself emotionally, how you get to express yourselves. Yeah, it's a love reading in a love fashion. This really feels positive. This Wheel of Fortune feels to me like that Wheel of Fortune. It doesn't matter whether it's a good event or a bad event. It's an event. And if it's a good event, you end up in a better place. And if it's a bad event, you end up in a better place. So good or bad, it hones off the sharp edges of all this old anxieties and feeling trapped, and maybe gets rid of a few of your could have, should have, because somebody's treating you with kid gloves. They are treating you with an immense sense of balance, but also the Star and the 10 of Moons, so the 10 of Cups. But also with it being 10 of Moons, there's that sense of coming to the culmination, like coming to the full moon. There's a sense of there's an enormous amount of happiness and better than wish fulfillment aimed to come your way, but they're aware that there's a distance between this, from where this is being issued or offered to where you can receive it. And there may even be an element of you going, la, 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 not listening. No, yeah, I know you've got all this happiness. Yeah, not listening. No, fed up with that. So there's someone's being very, very patient with you, Scorpio. And when we've got this lust card, the unrequited love card, why are you holding back so much? I'm not going to pretend to understand your psychology in this situation, but this is what I'm seeing. So let's look at a potential future. And we start with the third 10 of Cups, 10 of Submersibles here. There's a wonderful sense of joy and triumph here, especially when it's coupled with the Prince of Suns. So that's card number 14. So that might equate to the Queen or even the King here. But and the 9 of Coins, giving me, I love the 9 of Coins out of this Chinese tarot. So it's yes, it's work that you're doing on your own, but you're not like locked away in a little garden. This young spirit, I'm going to say, young fairy, is using a chain of coins as balloons to lift her from flower to flower. That is beautiful. That is, 9s for me very much represent, oh, let's try and get that camera back in focus. There's the other card. Come on, you can do it. These are not the droids you are looking for. Let's see if there we go. Using this these coins as this sense of inner isolation as a tool to rebirth yourself, to regenerate yourself. This is why now I see why that Hod card is here, because looking at the bottom of the decks, so Hod's talking about submission. So allow this process to unfold. When your fears are coming up, face them. Don't run away from them. You've run away in the past. So this time, face them and go, yeah, I don't like this situation, but hang on a minute. Why do I not like this situation? Because someone is trying to show you the value, which is different to, right, so this third person that I said is mixing up all in your business. Yes, they are. But I think they're trying to get you to see the light, which is why, from the Oracle of Heaven and Hell, we have Ayarathel with propagation of light. Someone is trying to get you to see the light of the situation that you're in, that there is actually some good stuff. You just have to let go of the past. Stop being a rebel. Narrow your focus a bit to sort out the small things, the local details, so then your world can suddenly get bigger again. Because it is time for a lot of this stuff to fall away. It's almost time for a torch to be passed and for you to receive that. It's slow going, yeah. Which is a shame, because Scorpio is, yeah, it's the sign about transformation. So you are being offered a transformation at the moment. It's just maybe not in the way you would have liked it to be offered. But I think it's in a fashion that you'll end up a lot happier with. Let's have a look at this. 4 of airships, so 4 of swords, healing. And isolation to a certain extent, but this doesn't feel like a very isolated card. It feels like just taking a moment, you know, yeah, it's beautiful out. I'm just going to go and sit and read a book for an hour at the bottom of the garden, or I'm just going to go and think about things at the bottom of the garden. Okay, so now where I am, it's winter. We're not going to go to the bottom of the garden right now. It's too cold. But there is Death card, change again, and the High Priestess. Now, we've got High Priestess recently. This process that you are starting at the moment, follow your intuition with it, even though your own enforced self-logic and your own enforced rules are saying, nope. But there's a weird thing here, because I want you to not fall for the should-haves, because I'm politically opposed to the word should. But it's almost like that there's people around you trying to point out to you something that that you're going along with because it appears to be the right thing to do. But it's quite possible that it is actually the right thing to do. And that's the message you're not going with. You're just going with, I'm going to do this because it appears to be the right thing. But it is actually the right thing. There is some form of bonus or benefit in doing this? Oh God, I've been talking for half an hour. So to bring it to a close quickly, what are you scared of? That you haven't got the strength to go through this, that it's going to be a wild goose chase, you know, that messages are going to come through that is just going to send you running from the hills, and a strength card again, twice strength card, fortitude here. But this calling the storm, it's not you calling the storm, is it? It's this group that you're isolated with trying to ram home a point to you. So we have Spirit Gauge, which if I remember correctly is the Temperance. Yeah, card number 14. So it's Temperance. Then we have Six of Stars, which is Six of Swords, ending up in a better place. But the fact that it's this deck, the Lost Tarot Nostradamus, it's the dove bringing the olive branch back to the ark. It's showing the promise of somewhere more beautiful. Four of Cups again. So there is a message with all these Four of Cups being rammed home to you. You are building a foundation at the moment. Listen to your guidance, whether it's from people or spirit. I don't think they're disagreeing with one another so much. Get rid of this unrequited love business. Allow it to be requited, or allow yourself to move on to where someone can give you that requirement, if that's the right way to say it, because it looks like it's on offer here. I have to say again, there was, what, all three Two of Cups in this reading. There's the Sacred Union, the Lust card, the Angel of Feminine Love. What are you actually rebelling against, Scorpio? That's what I have to ask with this Sekhmet card and all the other things. What is it that you're actually rebelling against? And if the situation that you're having all this stress and anxiety about is so goddamn awful, why are you still in it? Never mind the should-haves. Get out, get to the new place where all this nice stuff can start coming through for you. That's all I've got to say, Scorpio. I hope it means something to you. If it does, do comment down below, because it's nice to know when these readings find the home, whoever they're supposed to go to. I've managed to be convinced by comments now that no, I'm not just sat talking to a camera. These readings will go to whoever's supposed to hear them. And if you've lasted this long to hear my comments, please write some comments of your own down there. Like, share, subscribe. Obviously, I'm a YouTuber. Liking the video helps. Sharing the video helps. Liking helps. But subscribing to the channel really helps. So if you want to support me and my work, although this isn't work, I love reading the cards. But anyway, if you want to support me having fun, press the subscribe button as well. Keep posted for the solar eclipse readings. It will be out hopefully within the next week, considering it's only 9 days away. And see you later. Cheers, Scorpio.